Hello again.
Hello.
Yeah, so what did we watch again?
I watched this a while ago.
Trying to remember everything that happened, but we usually watch the whole thing anyway, so.
Yep. Welcome back, everyone, to Star Wars Total Rewatch, the show where we are going through all of the watchable Star Wars content. Movies, TV shows, cartoons, holiday specials, you name it.
You got it. We watch it.
Recommended that you watch it as well and listen to what we have to say about it afterward. And let us know if you agree, disagree, have other thoughts you would love to share.
You watch it, we'll rewind it.
Yeah.
Right.
Be kind. Rewind.
That's another one. That's a good one.
Yep. That's an old saying that nobody will know what it means anymore.
You know, always rewind your YouTube videos after you're done watching them. Never.
After you're done with them. So they're ready for the next person.
I go to watch your YouTube video and it's right at the end.
I hate that.
I love that idea. I'd never thought of that. Today, we are covering Star Wars Clone Wars, not to be confused with The Clone Wars. Completely different.
It's very apparently different.
Hang on, though. Let's clarify that also, because the second movie is called Clone Wars or The Clone Wars.
Oh, exactly.
Not to be confused with the movie or the later television series of the same name. This is the 2D animated Clone Wars series from 2003 all the way through to 2005.
Cartoon Network show.
Yeah.
Animated by, I don't know how you pronounce the name, Gendy
Tartakovsky.
By one man. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, he's...
Well, I mean, created by.
Yeah. It's his style, too. Like his animation style.
He's got he did Samurai Jack, Primal. He's got quite the, how do you
distinct.
say? Recognizable, distinct animation style. And he's very good about being able to just convey everything without having to just use dialogue constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of these segments, no one really speaks at all, or hardly at all.
Visual storytelling. It reminds me of a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I didn't watch very much Samurai Jack, but I sure remember it. I remember you watched a lot of it, Daniel, right?
Yeah. It was. I remember it being the kind of show where if he wasn't chopping and dicing up robots, it would be incredibly violent. But most of the time, they got around it by having just bits of robot come flying out of them and stuff. And this Clone Wars is no exception.
Yeah.
We were thinking that. There's some violent stuff going on here.
Yeah.
It's rated Y7, but I don't know that I'd watch I don't know that I'd show this to a 7-year-old.
Well, in Samurai Jack, he would get so beat up in almost every episode. Definitely a pretty rough show for kids.
Yeah.
For a kids show.
Well, and like the later season that they did was actually like a more mature
of Samurai Jack
show. Yeah, because they actually had like blood and everything. And
that's why his new show Primal, I feel like he's just able to let loose with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it show looks pretty rough.
Yeah, but cool, but good.
But cool.
Yeah, very, very good.
I think the earlier Star Wars cartoons that we've already covered, the Ewoks and droids, were made for kids. I think all the later Star Wars cartoons we're going to be doing, including this one, are not fully aimed at kids. Like, they maybe are in part, but they're also aimed at older Star Wars fans who maybe want something to watch with their kids, or, I don't know, or just to have a broader appeal.
Yeah, there's some pretty brutal things that happen in this, as well as the actual Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one there's not, like you guys said, a lot of dialogue where it's like goofy, cheesy. And there's very little bit of that where it's like, oh, there's some humor for kids or whatever. And most of it's just action anyway. But like, there's more of that in the new Clone Wars, kind of some cheesy, funny dialogue.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm not like ripping on it. This one's there's just so little dialogue anyway in this one.
This is like pure action.
Right. And it's good. It definitely tells a story still. There's parts that piece of dialogue. The whole beginning is just like action, I feel like. I don't know if you guys watched it. I watched it just as like one YouTube video.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really tell where there were episodes.
Right, it was episodic, but I don't actually know how it was divided into episodes.
And it kind of jumps around weirdly anyway, and it kind of just so it wasn't really clear anyway, I didn't think. But
it's not to say this series doesn't have a sense of humor. It definitely does. It's just not in the forefront as much as some others.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, so the way this was divided up is the first volume, which is technically seasons 1 and 2. They were 3-minute episodes, is what they were.
3 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much every scene change then would have been like a new episode.
How often were they released? Like weekly? That'd be so hard to follow.
3-minute episode? What?
Yeah, for the first volume, and then the second volume, which was season 3, they were 12 to 15-minute episodes.
The second volume was season 3? Like what?
Well, yeah, I mean, it ran over the course of like 3 years, right?
The first 2 seasons were all like 3-minute episodes, and the last season were a lot longer.
Why was the 2 seasons volume 1?
Because they were so short.
Yeah.
How's that make
first
any
2
sense?
seasons is the same length as the last season.
The amount of episodes, I guess.
The last season only had 5 episodes, but they were all much longer.
Very strange.
Yeah, that's a weird way to split it up.
Yeah.
How would you show that on TV? I just don't get it.
I think they were just in between things.
Huh. Anyway, this is a much better format to watch it then.
I think so.
It won an Emmy.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
They aired them. First season was November 7th through the 20th, 2003. So they aired almost every day. Looks like one of them every day or every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
The second one was the following March and April 2004. And the third ones all aired in March of 2005, which I want to say was just before episode 3 came out in the theaters.
Yeah.
Because they lead right up into episode 3.
Right. That last series was definitely to build up to the movie coming out. I mean, at the end of the full video of the series that I watched on YouTube, they had a short documentary about the making of. And so they had been doing these episodes, and Lucas really liked them, and he asked if could we make this kind of a lead in to the third movie, which they were super excited about, and it totally does, right up to the opening scene. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is so great.
So we kind of were debating about how to do this for the podcast. We didn't want to do really short podcast episodes for every one of these 3-minute segments.
Drag it out for another year.
Yeah.
I think we thought about doing an episode for each season, but you know what? We just decided to plow through the whole thing at once.
Oh, yeah.
So you are in for...
Treat it like a full-length movie or something.
It feels like a movie.
It does. There's a few separate stories, but I think that'll be easy enough to cover all in one go.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, there's so much action. Like, it's hard to really talk about action. Like, in terms of the plot, it's probably not a ton to really go over.
Again, it's like a script. It's fight scene.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It does jump around. Well, it jumps. So I mean, we can start getting into the content, but it's about the Clone Wars. Go figure.
Yeah.
And we jump around to the different Jedi leading groups of clones that we kind of see in episode 3, like when they shoot them all in the back.
Right.
But we're seeing the Clone Wars in action, which is great.
This allows you to get to know all the Jedi before they get killed.
Right.
Yeah.
You get all attached to them, but you just know that their days are numbered. It's pretty dark. And I just finished watching the last season of the 3D Clone Wars, and that again ends pretty, bleakly with just Order 66 being executed, and it's just oof, man, everyone's just, what an ending.
It's kind of a funny...
Another happy landing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
It is kind of a strange, I don't know what to tell it, strange way to tell a story or to make a series where you already know the beginning and the end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're not going to win these wars. That goes for this series and the later Clone Wars series. But we still want to see what they're doing during them.
Yeah. I think it's just an opportunity to be able to tell stories without a lot of limitations.
It's not all about the outcome. You
Right.
get to know the characters. You get to see, how their decisions go, how their, how stories play out in the middle of all this stuff. Like the war is just kind of the backdrop for some of it.
So I thought this was interesting because obviously the other Clone Wars show happens after the third movie came out, but like I didn't realize like this one. I guess Grievous didn't show up till later in this, but maybe that at that point they were coordinating with George Lucas. I don't know. It was just kind of cool. I guess they introduced some new characters that were new.
Yeah.
They were new to the third movie.
Yeah.
So somehow they coordinated that, or maybe that was like one of you guys said maybe George Lucas started liking this show, and then they introduced like say Grievous because I think he was later on. And I guess he's kind of the main character that was introduced. But
it's a cool way to introduce a character that isn't a huge part of the third movie, but is just a really cool character that you kind of want to see more of.
Yeah.
I remember seeing, when I saw episode 3 for the first time, being a little confused about who is General Grievous.
Yeah.
Because he's just there all of a sudden. There's really no introduction of who is this guy? Where did he come from?
He needs no introduction.
Yeah.
Well, right. But we get one here, and I had not seen this until later, after the movies.
Really great. And there's a lot of things that I was surprised because I just finished watching the later Clone Wars. There's a lot of like plot points that in this series that come up in the later Clone Wars series. That's going to be so confusing talking about these two Clone Wars. But like the invasion of like the Mon Calamari invasion,
with
the Quarren and the swimming battle droids, and like that there's a plot where that happens in the later Clone Wars series.
Sure.
There's Asajj Ventress.
Yeah, we see much more of her.
Well, and as that was interesting, because they kill her in this, and then whether they plan to bring her back or not, but she was a cool character, so I think they brought her back somehow. I don't really remember if they brought her back or she was just there. I think she was just there.
He didn't definitively kill her in this, did he?
Yeah, she just kind of fell.
I mean, clearly you can't definitively kill anyone after they like keep bringing every single person back. But she seems pretty much dead to me.
Huh.
But in Star Wars, I guess they bring everyone back.
Well, so there's, I guess the thing to ask is there any kind of continuity between this series and the later Clone Wars series? Or is it just like, was that just a reboot of the whole idea?
I don't see any reason it couldn't work. Because this is like, I don't know, because it's not like either one of them's like instantly after the Clone War movie.
Right.
I feel like there's kind of a little time. I don't think anyway. There's a little time in between, so you're not necessarily sure when this is happening, when's this happening exactly.
Mm-hmm. This one doesn't seem to have like too many specific events that would be like contradicted or in any way.
Yeah. Right.
It's kind of just showing a lot of things happening.
And and I agree. And then also like Anakin's pretty young in this. They kind of explore him becoming a Jedi Knight, whatever. But like that could work, I think, with the other one.
Right.
To be honest, I think he might be a Jedi Knight already in the other one. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
It's been a while since I've watched the other series.
Yeah, at least the beginning. I've probably seen it the most recently.
Yeah, I know, Cody. You just said you just finished watching it.
Yeah,
but like, there's some character introductions and some things that maybe don't fit. But
yeah, just a few of them, and then I know like at the very end of this doesn't quite line up with the very latest season of the Clone Wars.
Oh,
okay. But there's probably most of it you could kind of fit in somehow or other. Right?
Yeah, no, most of it you could probably fit in. There was no giant lobster thing in the newer series. There wasn't a giant lobster cannon underwater.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wait, giant lobster cannon? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I really don't remember like any of this already.
There's maybe more of a shrimp, I guess, but yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
what was
that's
remembering stuff. Here we go.
That's one of the troubles with so many there's all these short little episodes. Like, what even happened in each one of them? It's hard to remember.
Well, I can't imagine watching this in 3-minute increments. That would make
right.
I would not remember anything that was going on, and it would make any sense. Like some people would be better with it. I would have no clue what was going on ever. Like over the course of a year, 3-minute increments per day over a year.
No, 2 months or something.
Well, like a day at a time, like for a month, and then you'd get nothing for 6 months, and then you'd get a few more for a day at a time.
So even worse. Oh my.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's the whole daily cartoons idea, but
right. Well, and that was back in 2003. Nowadays, it would all be released like on Disney Plus to binge in one day.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, actually, Disney Plus, I guess they're not doing the whole binge in one.
No.
Binge the whole season in one thing.
I guess they did.
Just like
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian and this newest season of Clone Wars as well, which sucks, but
right. It sucks, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you can always just wait and then.
Yeah, you can just wait. And like the last, is it 3 or 4 episodes, I think, of the last season of the Clone Wars, aka the newest one, is essentially one big movie. Like it's 4 parts, all designed to be as like a movie. It's really good.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta finish that so I can.
Oh yeah. Also, the Ilum was also pretty similar. And those events happening in this earlier Clone Wars.
That's the city.
That's the crystal. Where all the crystals are. Hold on.
Oh, the Jedi Academy.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. You go there in Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And I had no idea where it was, but
which one? Where's Ilum? Or which one's Ilum?
It's the
show
snow
me Ilum
planet.
It's
the snow planet where they're building a lightsaber
Grievous.
And the rocks fall on them.
Is that in the third? No, it's here.
Doesn't Grievous come after on that one? Or am I misremembering?
No, that was in the.
This is different.
Great.
There's just a bunch of robots on here.
We'll get into them all in a bit, but I'm good with the general thoughts here.
That's where these 2 Jedi were at the temple on Ilum.
All right. I don't know.
Barriss Ophi. Man, how did I remember that? And whatever her face.
I have no idea.
We mentioned these 2 in the episode 2. Luminara.
And we are going to get a lot more of these characters. I think we'll get to know who they are as time goes on. Later Clone Wars.
Yeah. It's fun to see just all these Jedi. It's so many cool Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I kept forgetting some of their names, but I think we'll remember it more the more we see them. Mm-hmm. So I like the animation style. Everything's really exaggerated. It made me think of those caricature paintings you see at fairs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was thinking of like the holiday special cartoon, you know?
Yeah. Oh. It's pretty similar to that with like Han's face just being this super long.
Yeah, these caricatures. Okay. Palpatine looks like an owl.
Yeah, he definitely looks odd.
Anakin's got this huge butt chin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just the classic butt chin.
Johnny Bravo.
Where's those shades at? That'd be perfect.
Whoa, mama.
No, but I mean, overall, the series was really fun. It was a great time. Everybody who likes Star Wars should totally watch it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think because of all the later Clone Wars stuff, I kind of forget this one exists, but it's really cool.
It's not on Disney Plus. What the heck?
Yeah, I know. I was looking for it on there.
I don't know who owns the rights to it or what.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if there was an issue with that. But regardless, we found it on YouTube.
I was going to say, I also looked up the voices, and they are mostly just voice actors. I think Anthony Daniels, C-3PO, was the only original. But they do a pretty good job of sounding like the actors from the movies.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. And the other interesting thing was, what did I find? Luminara, the Jedi, was voiced by Cree Summer, who was Princess Nisa in the Ewoks.
Oh my goodness.
What do you know?
Amazing. That's actually pretty funny. Good research on that. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see the cool ARC troopers show up.
I know. Let's get into this. There's like a couple different stories, and the first one follows the ARC Trooper Squadron, who are super cool. They're so badass. They don't say anything.
They don't need to.
No,
they're just that good.
Yeah, all hand signals.
There's a lot of specific clone troopers you see in the the 3D animated. As far as I know, I haven't watched any of it. I'm going to be the one going in totally blind.
Oh man!
But I love seeing all the different clone troopers. I mean, like I read the Republic Commando books in the game and stuff, and they're just all so cool.
I was always hoping. I mean, ARC troopers are basically the commandos, but I thought they were going to be actual commandos in
this.
Or in the later Clone Wars series, there is one Republic Commando guy.
Really?
Yes,
like in
see, and he's got the exact same like helmet and stuff.
No way.
And gun and as from the games.
All right. Great. I'll have to keep.
He's not in it for very long, but he's just like this one part.
Much later season.
Don't spoil anything, Will.
Yeah, we'll find him.
We'll be surprised. Pleasantly surprised.
It's weird. He shows up in this really weird plot that's going on. It's a really weird subplot that they have for a couple episodes that seems straight out of Droids. But then he shows up. It's like, oh, great.
Well worth it.
Fill me in on the Clone Commandos. I hear about them a lot, but I haven't played many of the games.
They're just super boss clone troopers.
It's like it's like a Navy. It's like super special forces, right? You know.
I think
they're the elite of the elite.
There's a game entirely dedicated to them.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a squad of 4 of them that you get to know really well.
Okay.
The idea is there's not just 4, but they're just very very elite soldiers that go on. They send them on like the hardest mission.
I think in the books they kind of talk about how they were given like more freedom as far as like the way that they were programmed, you know, and so like when faced with like the Order 66, I think some of them actually resisted that order. In the book, they make friends with like a young Jedi at some point, and it's really really interesting.
Yes, the books are good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because here we get different colored troopers.
Mm-hmm.
We got a red one leading them.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, in this one, usually, in the later ones, they're usually colored based on what detachment they're in. So the 501st are usually the ones with Anakin and Obi-Wan. They're the guys in blue. Okay. Then there's he's with Anakin, sorry, and then Commander Cody and the 212th are yellow.
The yellow ones, yeah.
And red ones are usually the Coruscant Guard.
I know it from the old Battlefront games.
Right?
Yeah. Where the blue ones had the rocket launchers.
Yeah, that's perfect. Look at that.
I know, and they do. Like they were actually called the ARC Troopers, I think, in Battlefront.
You're right.
There's the Marines are the guys that in like the cloth ones that look like the old snow troopers in red.
Oh, cool.
They were was that with Kiara-Mundi?
Yeah, there were
basically, yeah. And then I think the green ones were with Ayla Secura. But basically, yeah, the color scheme is just based on whatever detachment they were from.
However, this it may not necessarily be 100%
true. Yeah, in this one that might not be so.
Yeah.
Because these are all ARC troopers, and some of them just look like regular clones.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Commander Frodo. I think his name is
Frodo.
Guy.
What?
For real?
Fordo. I try to remember how his name is.
Fordo.
It's very similar.
I don't know.
Yeah, what series are we watching?
Lord of the Rings edition.
But they're infiltrating this city. Like the rest of the clone forces on this planet are doing like a frontal assault against the separatist army. But then Obi-Wan sends in the elite ARC troopers to take out like the
guns.
Control room of this, the big gun. So I didn't really look into what planet they're on or anything like as far as.
This is the one with all the Greek temples in the background, right?
Yeah.
They keep flashing back to this place every couple of segments.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that is supposed to be Commander Fordo.
Fordo. Okay.
Fordo. Yeah, Fordo.
He's got the dual pistols.
AKA ARC-77.
Right.
They're on planet Moonilist. Moonilins.
And I don't think they say one word, and it's awesome.
They do.
Do they eventually? I mean, I'm saying that that whole first mission. I don't know if they say a word.
I think here when
not many, if they do at all.
Talking to him, he might say something here.
Well, that's maybe the only part then.
There, he said.
All right, there he goes.
Target sighted.
There's the way they move is so funny.
Oh yeah, he does all these hand signals. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and the contrast between everyone just like standing still for such a long time, and then all of a sudden,
right,
they just like move in these really exaggerated ways.
That's totally
like
part
marching
of
in
his animation style.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty comical though. I love it. Yeah.
And like the no music in a lot of parts too. It's just like
Yeah.
these hand signals walking around. Like, it definitely kind of grew on me as at first it's just so different. At first I'm like,
it's very different.
Okay,
for Star
like
Wars.
what is going on? But it's really good.
I love seeing just somebody giving their.
Can I tell you something else that cracked me up was when they're taking off from Coruscant and Anakin, like his ship kind of pauses outside of Padme's window and they both put their hands on the glass.
That was
hilarious. And he's got just this like real pouty face.
Right, and his butt chin.
It's hard to even say why some of this stuff is so funny, but it's just the way it's drawn and the timing of everything.
It is more comical than I'm remembering, I think. But it's just not like intentionally comical. Or I don't know.
I think some of it is, maybe not all of it.
It is, but it's not as like in your face comical. Like they're not like forcing it. It's just kind of
yeah, exactly. It's all just kind of visual humor. Just kind of makes you laugh, and it's like it's not even a joke. Just the way they did that.
Yeah.
Or the way they said that line. Some of these voices make me laugh too. Some of the Jedi, when they're going around the Jedi Council, they've all just got.
Oh yeah, what is up with the beard guy?
He's an interesting character for sure.
Oh, the snake guy, yeah.
He's in the movie in the background.
Really?
Yeah, you barely see him though.
I don't know. I guess I didn't know that, but he just seems like kind of out of place.
He's very strange looking.
Yeah.
He's got like a big tail curled up underneath.
Yeah, he's a snake guy.
Then after the ARC troopers do their thing, it cuts over to Mon Calamari. You see the Quarren at war with the Mon Calamari.
You said that this is explored more in the 3D series, which is cool. I like this because you don't see any of this in the movies. You can assume that there's a lot of division here during this time, and I like to see that playing out in all kinds of different planets.
Oh yeah, it's very interesting.
They send Kit Fisto because he's also from a water planet. Apparently, all their cities are underwater and stuff.
Kit Fisto and his big smile.
He just smiles all the time.
It's like what he's known for.
Real happy guy, yeah.
Cheerful disposition.
One of his force powers.
He's got scuba troopers with him. That's one of his force powers. Force smile. Is that?
Look at that! Look at that thing. It's destroying everything with it.
And then the force is used so coolly in this series. Coolly, I guess. Like they don't hold back. Like you, a lot of times you think like, why don't you just use the force like this? And they totally do in this series. Like they just use it to like just dismantle droids and just crush them and stuff.
Yeah. I remember there was a shot where they like tears all the screws out of out of the droid that's holding it together, and he just collapses. Pretty clever.
This planet is so funny. They have these underwater steeds they're riding, eel things.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing some of the Mon Calamari culture that you don't really get in in the original trilogy in their spaceships.
Yeah.
They clearly are fish people. It's in the name.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Oh, did you guys notice his underwater lightsaber? That was pretty neat.
It is different.
Yeah.
It keeps hissing when water hits it.
Yeah. If we're touching on lightsaber effects, there's this fight scene later with Anakin and what's her name?
That's what I was thinking.
Asajj
Ventress?
Asajj Ventress, where it starts to rain and the rain
that was
turns
great.
To steam
that was
on the lightsabers.
Really cool. Yep.
I would love to see that in live action Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so in episode 2, Obi-Wan's fighting Jango out in the rain. Does that happen?
I don't think so.
They just don't bring attention to it. To me, it just makes it so visceral, like the lightsaber is just a pure energy.
Yeah, I don't think it happens. Like,
I think there's some sizzling in the what was the latest episode.
Well, if there is, they did it much better in this cartoon. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, in the new
fighting
one?
on the ocean planet.
The crashed Death Star.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Well, the way they showed it here was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean everything visually in this is just so cool.
Oh, it's like over stylized. It's so fantastic.
I started making notes of like cool shots that you'd see or a cool angle of something, but there's just so many. You could pause this anywhere and it looks cool.
Yeah.
So go and watch it. Then you'll know what we're thinking of.
And the last season of the Clone Wars, the newest series, also felt like they just really stepped up in terms of just visualness.
Sweet.
But it's just so cool. There's so many times that you could just like pause it and you'd be like, I'd take a poster of that.
Yeah. My new desktop background. It's good. Good to end on a high note. I'm looking forward to going through.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing that.
And then we see this.
Yeah. Who is
crazy guy back where the ARC troopers are. I don't even know what his name is supposed to be.
Are they like the banking clan that they talked about?
Oh,
yes.
It is from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know their names.
Moon people, I think they are.
Well, that's the planet.
Moon
right?
Elongated heads.
The species that the banking clan is.
Why is the entire banking clan just one species? Shouldn't it be like a network of people from different planets?
Yeah. Could be they just don't bother to get into that much detail, probably.
Well, who's this guy in the background? Is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the finances of Galaxy.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Like they just how much can they explore of everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally know what you mean. I'm joking.
There's some pretty good stuff with the banking clan in some of the later seasons of the Clone Wars.
Sweet.
And some really good shenanigans going on with Palpatine pulling the strings.
Yeah, so the city that they're in is under attack, and I think that the clone army was sent there to just force a surrender from these guys. But they have some kind. I don't know who this is. I guess
Dirge.
Dirge.
His name is Dirge, and he's a bounty hunter for almost 2,000 years.
Also resembles a knight in shining armor.
That was a bounty hunter?
Did Palpatine have him installed here or something as protection? Or did they hire him?
That's what I think. I think it was like, because they're kind of like, when are you going to do something?
He's a little out of control.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I thought he was just like a high-tech droid, some kind of new model.
No, but he's like organic. He's
a Jedi.
He's in charge. Somebody sent him there. I think Dooku sent him there.
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Never mind. Dooku would have been the one. Yeah.
Right. Nobody knows about Sidious.
He's got an army of droids, and they ride on their speeder bikes, and they have jousting spears.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
But what's also funny is,
that was fun.
Well, one, that they destroy everything with them, but then also the clones apparently have guys that can combat them.
Right. Right.
They have their own jousters that you never see again.
Yeah.
But you got to have them just in case a row of droids with jousting poles come at you.
Right. That's why you have them. Yeah.
I'm going to skip a section just so we can keep up with this whole character.
Right. Joustings.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, it looks very cool. It maybe doesn't make a lot of sense, but the jousting is pretty cool.
It's a great idea, for Star Wars.
But I guess he's in a lot of the comic books.
This character?
Ooh, this big robot guy?
Yeah.
He's like unkillable.
Pretty much. He only eventually gets killed when Anakin apparently force pushes him to a star. So.
Oh, in the comics. I believe
great.
that, yeah. We'll reveal his big secret is he's some kind of organic blob that just regrows itself.
Right.
It's like muscle tissue reconnecting. It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. He's like chopping parts off him, and also just grows into each other again.
Yeah. Here he is.
But yeah, I was kind of expecting him to come back after when they killed him in this Clone Wars.
Yeah, the last we see of him in this cartoon is he actually like absorbs Obi-Wan inside of him.
Oh yeah,
and then Obi-Wan makes him
explode
from within.
Forced explosion. Yeah.
Yeah, just muscle matter all over the walls.
Oh my goodness. I totally forgot about that. And that's so gross.
It's not
but kind of funny.
It doesn't look as gory as it sounds. As it should.
No. Nowhere near.
Well, it's again, like you said, same with Samurai Jack.
Yep.
You can do so much stuff because it's robots And that makes it okay?
As long as it's not blood-colored, I think you can get away with anything.
Even though this isn't a robot, apparently. I thought it was.
Yeah.
That was the shot where all of a sudden he starts fading. The liquid starts to fade off the screen. I was like waiting for Dawson to start like assembling again.
Oh, yeah. Well, clearly he's not dead. And apparently, he comes back in comics.
Did he not ever come back after that?
No.
Not in this.
Oh.
Not in this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Until Anakin force pushes him into a star.
Hilarious. Good to know. Self-defense techniques.
Oh, yeah. That's why I always don't go anywhere without my pocket star.
That's the only way to be sure.
Nuke it from orbit.
Right. So, yeah, I skipped this bit with Asajj Ventress. We kind of see Dooku is like recruiting her, which I thought was interesting. They're talking. She just fights a bunch of random things, fighting for about 5 minutes. But she says that she is Sith. Like that's what she tells Dooku. I am Sith. Mm-hmm. Right. He's like, yeah, no, you're not. You're definitely. So I just kind of wondered. I didn't look into her character at all, but I imagine she was just a fallen Jedi. She doesn't have a red lightsaber. She has dual wields, a blue and green one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you'll find out.
I don't want to maybe give a lot away from later, but we see her a lot more in the later Clone Wars series, and
that's fine.
Yeah, there's some. She's got an interesting story. Like she does kind of.
Good.
She's trying to find her own path, right?
Yeah.
So here she definitely is trying to be a Sith, but it's like, well, what is her ultimate destiny going to be?
She's not a Jedi, but she is a Night Sister.
Is she? Oh,
that's
very
right.
cool.
How does anyone know what Night Sisters? Unless you haven't watched it.
They're in Fallen Order.
Well, they're in the Clone Wars also.
Fallen Order. That's what I was thinking.
I was kind of familiar with them just vaguely from the Clone Wars, but then there's a Night Sister in Fallen Order game, so
cool.
I learned a little bit more.
Well, why does she have green and blue lightsabers?
Oh, probably just took them from some other Jedi that she killed.
Okay.
No one can kill a Jedi.
Yeah. Classic.
I wish that were true.
Yeah, Palpatine tells her to kill Anakin. I think it's like a initiation kind of thing.
Yep.
For her or for Anakin?
Exactly.
We don't know.
Exactly.
Just a puppet.
Yeah. So I think that does tie in here. Yeah, Anakin is in space, in a space battle above the Banking Clan planet, and Ventress comes in her own ship and kind of baits him into chasing her into hyperspace. But we get a long chase scene. That's like...
Yeah, that's pretty long.
Well, and I think maybe what's significant about this, we don't need to talk about it too much, although it is visually very cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing around the buildings.
Yeah, but it's showing Anakin rebelling against Obi-Wan's orders.
Yeah. And also he's headstrong, kind of like thinks, I can take this thing. Like it's not a big deal at all. And then,
yes, and he's very overconfident.
Right.
Yeah. And then also it continues to kind of show out. I feel like this one especially, like it seemed like he had some victories, but his victories come when he like kind of almost turns from the Jedi way and gets angry, and then he succeeds. Like he does it a few times in this thing, and it's kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah. What is victory? Is it just to win?
Right, like he achieves victory, but he's doing it kind of not in the Jedi way, and like I don't know if he realizes it each time, or I don't know. They don't really dive into that too much, but it's interesting.
I think he just knows and likes power and feels good when he is in control.
Well, he like needs to succeed. It's kind of like this drive to succeed, and then also to save people. Kind of turns him into no matter what I have to do this,
Yeah. There's the end of this series is this fight. Well, no, I guess it's not. But there's this fight between him and Ventress, and it clearly shows his anger.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like that's when he wins, basically, when he gets angry.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say for anyone keeping track at home, season 1 ends at the space battle, and season 2 starts with him chasing Ventress's ship around in space.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna talk more about their battle, though, right? In a bit.
We can, if we want to. Yeah,
great.
Let's do the Mace Windu episode.
Yeah. But just we'll get back to their battle on Yavin because it's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Yavin.
Yeah.
We see just a random. I don't know like what this planet is. It doesn't really matter. It's just a big fight between clones and droids, and it's just an opportunity for Mace Windu to show off.
Oh, boy, does he show off!
I am totally down.
And he looks very interesting.
It's
like,
awesome.
I don't know. I love how he looks, but it's just such like some of the characters kind of like resemble them. They're in the movies more, and like he does not. I don't think.
Sure.
But he looks very unique. It's cool.
And he is just taking down an army of droids on his own.
Basically.
And there's a spot at some point where I forget if he loses his lightsaber or what, but he's just punching droids with his bare fists.
It's like suddenly like a big move. Like it's not like he's not force pushing. He's just punching them.
Right.
Just because.
Awesome.
There you go. There you go.
This is just that good of a
Just
warrior.
any punch. It's your rapid fire like video game.
There it is.
Yeah, it's force punches.
But there's this big spaceship that just comes hovering over the field, and it's just a big piston that just pounds the ground.
Yeah, there's a lot of punching in this.
Very brutal.
That's such a great design for a ship and an idea for warfare too.
Right.
It just has a giant like stomper thing. You just fly it over an army and stomp them all at once.
Ship. And it sends out this big wave, shock wave of sand. It's kind of we're just watching it and laughing. It's just so funny, visually entertaining.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
It's the way they move. He's just doing these leaps.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh man. Again, everything's so exaggerated. When Obi-Wan is fighting in one of the earlier ones, he just jumps so high, like up onto buildings. Mace Windu is doing the same thing.
Totally.
He's flipping around everywhere.
Just completely using the Force. That's great. Oh, just love it.
I know. Force Unleashed, am I right? There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Just pulls out all the screws.
Yeah. And then uses the screws to shred a bunch of other super battle droids.
Right, like you don't even have to get near these things to fight them if you're a Jedi. Just break them apart from a distance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much fun to just see a Jedi just so powerful. Maybe doesn't always like stay consistent throughout the movies and stuff, but
yeah,
you know what? It looks cool, okay, and I love it.
I like that shot where the piston hits again, and every time it hits, it sends everyone, including Mace Windu, flying through the air. And he didn't have his lightsaber for a bit, and then it sends him flying again, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, there's my lightsaber!" as it's flying through the air as well, and he like grabs it. And yeah, it's pretty great. Just his eyes too, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, there it is."
Oh, it's so great how he uses the Force. The Force is just so cool in this series. But yeah, he finally gets his lightsaber back and wrecks the droids.
This party's over.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that's mostly maybe the intent of this show is to just let's see more of that Jedi, the Jedis that we saw in the Clone Wars movie that just kind of didn't really get enough exposure in the movie. They were, yeah, exactly.
I think people loved seeing all these different Jedi fighting too. So all of a sudden now it's like you get to see them fight more. And like the plots of the movies for the most part still revolve around like Anakin. Actually, a lot of it's just Anakin and Obi-Wan probably. But like like plot wise, it's just kind of showing other Jedi fighting on planets.
So this is Ilum. Yeah. We then go to
So we got Luminara, right?
Right.
And who's the other?
Barriss.
Green.
Yeah, Barriss Offee. And they are featured quite heavily in the later series.
Cool.
Okay. But we get to see her making her lightsaber, and I don't think we've ever seen that before, except in like a deleted scene from Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Isn't like there a part with there's a scene where Luke was building his new lightsaber on Tatooine. Yeah. But other than that, I don't think we've ever seen that. So
yeah, not currently. And then they do go into it a bit more in the later Clone Wars.
Why did they delete
I know, up to this point though.
Up to this point.
I don't know why they deleted it. It's cool.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's like screwing the last little bit on.
Yeah, I feel like there's just this idea that like the Jedi's lightsaber is a very personal part of them, like an extension of themselves. They don't really get into that too much in the actual movies, but maybe from games and stuff that I have more of that understanding.
Right.
Which is a very cool idea that they could definitely do more with in movies.
Yeah. It's such a big step in their journey to becoming a Jedi or Sith, like whatever. Just like, I guess in this, they hand Ventress someone for lightsabers, but I feel like that's like kind of not what, in my opinion, what they do. Like usually it's like,
even the Sith.
I don't know.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like the whole point, you build your own lightsaber. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems kind of weird that he handed them to her.
No, that's a good question. Don't Sith have to build their own?
I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal, but I think a lot of times it's such a kind of a part of the process is you build your own lightsaber, because a lot of times they're all so unique, too.
Yeah. You'd think the Sith would have to build their own using red crystals.
Right.
Well, and this is also a thing that we know from, I don't know where I even know it from, but somehow I knew that there's a crystal inside of your lightsaber, probably from books. But again, that's something we hadn't seen in any of the movies or shows.
Hey, there's some toy lightsabers you can get that you can swap out the color crystal.
Yeah, we might have one of those in my basement.
I know, they're pretty legit.
It is.
Nice. Does it work?
Yes.
I mean, it does change the color, but it's not like the light is going through it. I think it just
real?
presses a button there.
Need a license for those. That's cool, though. I didn't realize they had that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can change like the hilts and stuff. Some of those are super customizable.
Or you can build your own at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'm getting back, but we didn't talk about that little kid watching Mace Windu fight the whole time from up on a hilltop. I mean, there's not much else to say about it other than there's a kid watching the whole time. Gives him a drink of water at the end, and he's like, what a heroic individual.
Yep.
I looked him up. His name is Paxi Silo.
No, it's not.
Somebody made a name, but it's out there.
That's what I want to see. I want to see a whole season of stuff about him.
That's all I've got. You can go back to the Ilum.
Yeah. So Yoda, I thought this was kind of interesting pairing up here. Is Yoda was apparently on Padme's ship, I guess. I can't remember if they said where they were going.
Well, I think he wanted to get dropped off somewhere, or had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. He senses that Ilum is under attack, and so they stop there. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure why Yoda was.
Yeah, well, they got stuck under a bunch of rocks or something.
They did, yes. There's some droids with cloaking devices that are putting bombs all over the academy here, the temple here.
And he convinces Padme's what's the Captain Typho?
Yeah.
Yoda kind of uses the Force to tell him we gotta go there, but it's just funny because he's repeating Yoda's words.
Oh yeah,
he's saying to Padme, "Yeah, put you in danger it will not. Rescue the Jedi we must." And she's like, yep, great idea.
Yeah, there's just more humor for you. Good.
More humor for you. I've got a bunch of stuff that little humor things I wrote down because they're funny. There's a part when Count Dooku is talking and this alien goes on for a long time in some other language with no subtitles, and then Dooku goes, "Indeed." Those are the jokes. Just want to make sure we covered them.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the joke segment.
Well, did they ever have subtitles for any of the different speaking or the foreign languages? I don't think they ever did. They just kind of did what they did with like R2, right? I don't remember them ever showing subtitles, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't think they did on this. Right.
It wasn't like that much of it anyway, but I thought that was interesting.
In the movies they do, but you're right, not in here.
They rescue the 2 Jedi on Ilum. That's what happens.
Yep.
You get to see the droids a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. C-3PO and R2 are with Padme.
You get to see them bumbling around.
Yeah, just like droids.
That's what I've been missing.
Yep, bumbling.
So this is Yavin?
Yes.
Yeah, because later they're fighting like around and on top of those old temples.
Okay, I didn't realize it. It's a good setting.
Anakin chases Ventress, who he's still flying after her ship from before, and she leads him to Yavin.
Yep.
And they have a big fight scene. I thought this was one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, Obi-Wan kept saying not to follow her, and he does, and then Obi-Wan sends a group of clones to kind of help make sure Anakin's okay because he suspects he's flying into a trap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They each get picked off one by one in the jungle.
And Anakin kind of realizes after they basically all get killed and the ship blows up, he's like realizing like, yeah, he definitely came into a trap and like not got all these guys killed, and then there's a huge long fight scene.
Yeah. Another bit of understated humor. You get a bunch of shots of clones getting taken out one by one. And then you just go to Anakin and he says, something's not right. But like, yeah, this is actually, I'd seen this series before a long time ago, and this is the only part I really remembered. These two fighting in the lightning storm.
Right.
In the jungle and on the temples. It is very cool. Very visually cool. You've got giant planet Yavin up in the sky behind them.
Yep.
And it's a very intense fight.
There's a pause in the battle, and then the lightning strikes, and it starts to rain. And it's just quiet.
Yeah, it's very intense.
The raindrops on the lightsaber sizzling. Great.
And they both just are standing and looking at each other for a really long time, like waiting to see who's going to make the first move.
Exactly.
And of course it's Anakin because he cannot be patient that long.
Yep.
I mean, he's still very young too. Like he's in his teens, I guess. I think. I mean,
yeah, probably.
He was in the movie, and I don't think that much time has passed.
Right.
Yeah, he's still got his training Jedi braid here, Padawan braid.
Padawan, yep. Because then he becomes a Jedi Knight, and he gets to remove that.
But yeah, he kind of gives into his anger in order to overpower Ventress. He's like smashing at her
with one of her red lightsabers.
Right, he takes one of her red lightsabers, which is significant too.
Kind of re-emphasizing that he's kind of not fighting as a Jedi anymore.
That's a good point.
With every hit, we start to see flashes of other Jedi, which is a cool idea.
I think he's remembering that he shouldn't be probably giving in, but he is. Maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, or maybe they're sensing it as well.
Be that too.
One of them is Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
Yep.
That I assume is him remembering what he was taught.
Yeah.
Maybe. And we get yet another character falling into a pit. There goes Asajj Ventress.
She'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think falling into pits means you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
That seems to be the way it goes.
But then it ends with him, screaming and throwing the red lightsaber down the hole. So I think he kind of like, I don't know. To me, I kind of take it as like he knows he maybe shouldn't be. I don't know. He flew into a trap. He disobeyed Obi-Wan and then lost control and in anger won the fight. And then he's just like frustrated, I think.
Yeah, he knows that's not the way to do it.
It reminded me of showing Qui-Gon. Is there, I think right here, I'm just going to listen to this because I think he says to Obi-Wan, like, you're not Qui-Gon.
There's a part where he says that later.
Well, and Qui-Gon shows up in this, like a flashback scene.
Yeah, later Obi-Wan's like, remember what Qui-Gon Jinn said or something? And Anakin says, you're no Qui-Gon Jinn.
Kind of hurtful, Anakin.
Well, yeah, it's interesting too, though. Like, it shows you a little bit about both of them. Obi-Wan, too, because he's trying to live up to that. Qui-Gon Jinn died too early, and Obi-Wan kind of tried to take his place as teaching Anakin, and maybe he thinks he's not doing a good enough job.
That's kind of what I was thinking is Anakin's like from the get-go been critical of the way Obi-Wan's been teaching him. Maybe just because of his own arrogance, but he's kind of, claiming it's because, Qui-Gon was a much better teacher.
Right.
Putting that as the reason.
Yeah. And I think it's, like Obi-Wan was definitely got into it with Qui-Gon a few times too.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's just the younger kids, Jedi they're just less experienced, but they're feeling confident and.
Well, you wonder if Qui-Gon lived and trained Anakin, what would have happened? Because I think he had a very different teaching style.
Yeah.
There's one more section we can cover is the
introduction of Grievous. What a way to introduce him.
Yeah, we got a lot more to go. So I'm like,
yeah, I don't know if we're going to do a play-by-play of this entire thing.
Oh my goodness.
Well, so far we're just covering all the segments, but they're so short, it's like every scene.
I mean, as long as you guys are good to go for another hour.
Oh gosh.
I mean, an hour would be okay, but.
All right.
I think we'll be able to do it in that. finish volume 1 here, and then
we are almost done with it. This is Shock T is here with a group of other
Ayla Secura,
weary Jedi. Ayla Secura is here?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
P80 Mundi.
Oh, that is cute.
It's Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Shaggy from Scooby Doo, famously a Jedi.
His name is Shaggy with an apostrophe.
I forgot. It looks like Scooby.
Yeah,
there's a Padawan though. He's got his Padawan braids still.
Yeah,
that's actually his name because they said he looked like him.
Wait, what's his name? Oh, they actually named him
apostrophe E.
Oh my goodness, no way. Well, he's total scaredy cat, and he's the first to die.
No, he's not. He runs right out there. He's not scared.
Well, he ran out there because he was freaking out.
Just gets pancaked.
He was impatient. Is what he was.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't.
He seemed kind of panicky. Everyone was telling him, "Just wait, just wait." No, I can't.
Right, but I'm saying if he was scared, he wouldn't have just rushed out there to attack them.
I guess he was more like frenzied.
Right. Yeah. And then Grievous sat on him, which we never see that move in the other movies.
Force.
Very effective
force sit,
move.
it's called.
It's very heavy.
Well, I mean, Grievous isn't a Jedi. He's some kind of robot. Crazy.
But he's much more than a robot, too. That's the thing. He's a living being.
Man, like in this scene, I was just thinking, hold on, like this is Grievous in his prime.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's a madman.
Right.
There's no stopping this guy, the Jedi killer.
Yeah. So anyway, Grievous fights a bunch of people and kills a bunch of the Jedi.
I know.
Kills all the no-name guys.
And it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. You just go to Yoda sensing trouble back on Coruscant.
I literally watched one YouTube video. I don't know.
Oh, yours had it all together in one thing.
Yeah.
It was all packed into one, yeah.
Well, that is the end of Volume 1, which is the end of Season 2 of Clone Wars.
Why? I don't understand that at all.
Because Volume 1...
why are there 3 volumes?
That's just the name of the DVD release, because they were able to fit 2 seasons onto one set.
Right.
So they call it Volume 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. But if our recording goes too long, we could always cut the episode and release this as 2 things. So
That's true.
If we do that, then thanks for listening and tune in very soon to hear about Season 3 of Clone Wars.